What is going on, warriors and farmers of Tamaris? Back again with another Call of Dragons video. This is gonna be the ultimate guide for the brand new legendary hero Seluna in the game. We're gonna check out some talent trees, artifacts, WARPETS, all the cool pairings and everything that you need to know about this awesome new hero in Call of Dragons. If you're new here, like, share, subscribe, leave some comments down below. Let's get right into it. Alright, warriors and farmers of Tamaris, the legendary Seluna is in the house. We're gonna go to the calendar and see how to unlock this brand new awesome legendary hero. Here she is, guys. She's going to cost you money to get the hero. Before we get started, we need to listen to the soundtrack of this Seluna. It is so satisfying. I'm gonna play it out for 30 seconds, then we continue with the video. So here we go, guys. Let me know what you think of this soundtrack. I think the devs were cooking. It is pretty good. Let's listen. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I think that is it. What do you guys think of this soundtrack? It is pretty good. So to unlock Seluna, it's gonna cost you some money and you're gonna hit go, and then we're gonna see the bundles. Now I was able to buy the first few bundles, which was the first tier. So this is the second tier. This is what it looks like. It is pretty much the same with the one for Musiang that we heard before. So gonna scroll across and you're gonna see what you get if you try to purchase the bundles for this legendary Seluna. It's looking pretty good if you have the money to spend. I don't know if I'm gonna be doing this, but yeah, I will use my universal tokens to awaken this hero. The good thing is I think the hero is going to be in the wheel. So in a few weeks, maybe the devs are gonna be adding her on the wheel. But for now, she's gonna cost money from your account. If you are free to play and you don't have money to buy this hero, you can ask your teammates. They can give you some dragon tickets, especially if you are a very good fighter in your alliance. I think your teammates should be able to give you some dragon tickets. So now we're gonna go straight to the hero section and see what Seluna is all about. Before we get started with the guide, there is something that you guys need to know right away. Usually when the devs introduce new toys in the game, they usually come with a lot of glitches, and we have two glitches for Seluna right now. If you don't see it, you're gonna be crying later on. So the first one is skill number 3. So this skill is not the same with what the devs showed us from the update video. So I think the devs are gonna be bringing some new patch in the future, maybe to fix it, unless they have decided to buff this hero without telling us. We have seen countless times where the devs introduce things that are too powerful, and then a few days later they go back and then they change it and say it is now working as intended. So as of right now, this skill is not the same with what they showed us in the update video. It has an extra 15% damage dealt. If you guys remembered, the total damage dealt for this lineup was 60%, but now it is 75%. So I think maybe in a few days they are gonna fix it and change it. And you can see the attack here also goes all the way up to 45%. From the update video, the attack only went to 30% for the melee flying units. So you guys need to be careful about this. I'm very skeptical. I don't really know what is happening. When we go to the next one, which is skill number 4, we're also seeing the same thing. Over here, the HP bonus is going all the way up to 30%. From the update video, the HP bonus was 20%. So you guys better be careful. If you're testing the hero right now, she may be performing beyond expectations. So I would be very skeptical with these two skills. I don't know which one is going to be the final version. Is it going to be the skill description from the update video, or is it going to be the skill description that we see right now? Have the devs decided to buff the hero without letting us know? That is something we need to find out in the next few days. Another topic that we need to discuss is how the devs have also restricted this brand new hero in Call of Dragons. Now, previously we have seen so many unnecessary matters in the game. We have seen Magrat and Zeta being used with Celestials. I don't think the devs meant for that to happen. We have seen the likes of Agnar and Goresh and Agnar just terrorizing people in the open field for fun. I don't think the devs meant for that to happen. We are seeing the likes of Naya and Kuma wreck people on the field with cavalry. I don't think the devs meant for that to happen. Right now they are being very, very skeptical. If you guys remember, the devs decided to restrict both Ella and Joren. They made their skills to only work with infantry. And from the way I see it, they have done the same thing with Seluna. This time around, they have made it so that for the skills of this hero to be used completely, you need everything in the lineup to be flying. Let's say, for example, you put Seluna with your Celestials and you put Bertrand behind, and then you put a Sand Lizard. I don't think you're going to be getting all the buffs of the hero because everything in the lineup needs to be flying. This is not the same with all the other flying heroes in the game. The other flying heroes can use ground troops and still get the buffs, but with Seluna, you cannot get the buffs if you're using anything that walks on the ground. So this is the restriction that the devs have done to this hero. I think they are trying to avoid unnecessary meta in the game. They want to eliminate the rise of new metas in the game. But the good news is this hero is going to be taking flying units to the next level. And I feel like the Wilderberg faction is going to be popping off, especially with the Wyvern Riders. With all of that out of the way, let us get to the guide. Alright, warriors and farmers of Tamaris, we spent too much time talking about the hero. Now it is time to check out the skills of the hero. Starting off with the Rage skill known as the Moon's Age. Rage costs 1000, attack range very far. Deals damage to the target legion, damage factor 1800. This is massive. And grants 1 stack of Lunar Moth Mark. Each time the legion launches a normal attack, it has a 20% chance to gain 1 stack of Lunar Moth Mark. 60% when leading a flying legion. Each stack of Lunar Moth Mark allows the legion to ignore 5% of enemy defense, maximum 6 stacks. The good thing I like about this hero is that you're going to start getting the stacks before you cast your Rage skill. So when you enter battle, you are immediately gonna start collecting the stacks. It's going to be very good for flying units, especially when everything is flying in the lineup. If you have everything flying and then you put a Sand Lizard on it, it's not gonna work. So here we got 20% chance for other troop type to gain the Moth Mark. It is not too massive, but it's okay. We go on to the second skill. Quake Winged Elegy. While in battle in the field, the legion deals damage to the target legion each time it loses 20% of its unit count. So this first part is going to be useful for, infantry. Damage factor 30 times number of Lunar Moth Mark stacks. If the legion is defeated in the field, it consumes all stacks of Lunar Moth Mark to immediately deal damage to the enemy legion that defeated it. So this is mostly going to be used by infantry and cavalry, because with mages, you always go back and refresh your units, and with archers, you do the same as well. So the damage factor is 30 times number of Lunar Moth Mark stacks. Damage determined by legion unit count upon city departure. If the legion survives the battle, it consumes all stacks of Lunar Moth Mark to receive healing. Healing factor, this amount times number of Lunar Moth Mark stacks. So this last part is going to be very, very good for flying units, especially with the Celestials and the Wyvern Riders. Ladies and gentlemen, we are going to witness the rise of the Wyvern Riders in Call of Dragons. This hero is going to be cooking with the Wyvern Riders. It's going to be insane. Moving on to skill number 3. Sentinel Breaker, passive skill. The Legion's melee unit gain 15% attack. The Legion's ranged units deal 15% more damage. When leading a flying Legion, the Legion's melee units gain an extra 30% attack, and its ranged units deal an extra 30% more damage. So guys, remember, this might not be the correct set of skills. I'm going to put the one from the update video over here because I don't know which one is going to be the final version. I'm not sure if the devs are going to be making these changes. So we move on to the next skill again. The Legion gains 10% march speed for all the different troop types, but when leading a flying Legion, it gains an extra 20% march speed and extra 30% HP. Again, this skill might be having some kind of fault in it. From the update video, it was a little bit different, as you guys can see here from the sides. I don't know which one is going to be the final version. And then when we go to the Awakening, this is where things starts to begin. I mean, this is where things get interesting. The hero is gonna get up to 30% additional damage dealt, which is fantastic. When you have everything in the lineup flying, you're going to get these stacks real fast. But for all the other unit types, especially if they're walking on the ground, this is gonna take a long time to get, but it's still gonna be useful. So this hero is going to be very, very good for the open field. The good thing is she can work with all the different troop types. She's got the skills tree as well, which makes her fantastic for open field fighting. Up next, we're going to check out the best pairings for Seluna in Call of Dragons. Seluna is going to be excellent for all the different troop types, including the Wyvern Riders. Now, this is going to happen when the Legion is flying. We're gonna see metas, Seluna and Bahon, doing some crazy work up in the sky. For both Celestials, Wyvern Riders, and Forest Eagles. I don't know which one is gonna be using this hero the most, but expect to see some good merits on the field. Seluna is going to be excellent with Bertrand. Where is Bertrand? If I can find him. Seluna will be excellent with Bertrand for Celestials. She is going to be excellent with Wyvern Riders and Freyr. We might see the downfall of Cindrion very soon. If Seluna with the Wyvern Riders is going to be doing good, people are going to bench Cindrion. Because, you know, 60% damage dealt on your normal attack is going to be nuts, guys. And on top of that, Seluna can do some crazy damage. And she has like a defense break. Not defense break. She can, is it penetrate the enemy defense? What does it do? She can ignore the enemy defense. So you should expect to see some crazy stuff with Seluna and Freyr. Another one that comes to mind is going to be Seluna and Craig with the Wyvern Riders. This is going to be nuts, guys, on the field. I don't know how this is going to be cooking so many people. When Craig starts going crazy with his rage skill, things are going to get red hot. And here we also got a hero skill damage bonus boost. Man, we got attack and we got defense bonus. This is going to be nice for those Wyvern Riders. With Celestials, you're going to have the likes of Atheas also doing some work. And then we have the Forondil and the Thea. Also, they are going to be applying some good stuff to Seluna for all the different troop types. So Seluna is going to be excellent as a flying Legion. I think right now she is kind of a must-have in Call of Dragons, especially for flying troop types. You're going to see crazy Seluna doing some good stuff in those statue fights because you cannot be blocked, especially when you bring your Seluna Bahon or Seluna with Bertrand or Seluna with Craig, Seluna with Forondil. At the statue, you just fly up the sky and get good merit by doing a lot of damage. So this is what you're going to get when you use Seluna with other flying heroes. Now she's going to be excellent with cavalry. I see her working very well behind Urag. Seluna and Urag is going to be doing some good stuff on the field. I cannot wait to see how that's going to be. There are so many places in the cavalry lineup where you can put your Seluna. You can put her behind Emrys. You can put her behind Naya. You can put her behind Forondil. You can even try Seluna with Agnar. Like, you never know what's going to happen. She is going to be cooking on the field. And then when it comes to mages, you got Seluna and Yun Ming. I mean, you're going to miss out on a lot of the buffs from Seluna, but 30% damage dealt given to Yun Ming. That's gonna be something, man. Seluna is gonna work well with a lot of the legions over here. She's going to be very good with Kinara Nico for archers as well. I think that's gonna work well for the ground archers. I think Seluna is gonna be doing good with Kinara. Seluna and Musiang is gonna be cooking as well. I think for ground troops, this is gonna be awesome. Now for infantry, I don't know if Seluna is going to be very, very useful, but we are going to find out because you know you need to be launching normal attacks to get these marks, and it's only 20% chance. And when you're sending your infantry in an open field infested by multiple range units, you are not going to last more than 10 seconds. So I don't know if Seluna is going to be very useful with infantry. However, a second skill is going to be good, but you need to have the stacks, which is going to be a little difficult to get. But we're going to find out when the hero is maxed out and we test her in those big open field battles. Up next, we go over the best war pets to use with Seluna. When it comes to mages, you are going to have to use the Seraphic Phaedric because the Seraphic Phaedric is going to heal. And you're going to get all the stats that you need to do damage because every time Seluna gets a moth mark, it's going to count as a stack for the Seraphic Phaedric. So you are covered in that department. This is going to be the go-to pet to use with Seluna. You cannot use the Sun Lizard because the Sun Lizard is a ground pet. It does not fly. So you're going to be stuck using the Seraphic Phaedric if you want to get the best value out of this Seluna, unless the devs are going to be changing this restriction in the future. I don't see that happening. When you're using Seluna with the Wyvern Riders, if you're using Bahon or Freyga, then you're going to have to use this Night Rock. This is going to be the go-to pet to use with Seluna for those Wyvern Riders. And then when it comes to the Spring Wardens, you're going to have to use maybe Seluna and Borondil with this Berserk Phaedric. This is what's going to work for the, what is it called? The Spring Wardens. Or if you're going to use Seluna with Bahon, you can also try this thing right here, which is the Night Rock, and that's going to work. Or you can also use Seluna with Freyga and still use the Night Rock for your Spring Wardens. So this is what I see working. You can also use the Sapphire Phaedric for the mages. I think that's going to work well. You also have the Bertrand pet, which is this one, the Shadow Phaedric. But I think the Seraphic Phaedric is going to be the way to go because you're going to get some nice survivability when you fight your enemies on the field. When it comes to cavalry, since the hero is on the ground, you can use her with any of your cavalry heroes and then use the proper pet for that lineup. Up next, we check out some cool artifacts for Seluna. I think the first one that comes to mind is going to be the Mirage Orb for the magic troop type. When Seluna gets the moth mark, she's going to be triggering the Mirage Orb. So you will be able to get the buffs for doing more damage with this artifact. So this is going to be the one you use. And then for other troop type, it's going to depend on the hero that you use with Seluna. If you're going to be using Freyga, you have the other artifact that really do some crazy stuff. What is it called? The Freyga artifact. This one right here, Gold Crest. So this is going to be good for the archers. And then with Forondil, you got options that you can use. Forondil. Forondil has his own artifacts, but I think his artifact is not that great. The one that gives him the clone, it's not so good. But you can try the Kingslayer. You can try the Wolf Howl Horn. You can try the Spring Blades. You got a lot of options for your cavalry. Now the artifact is going to depend on the person that you use with the hero. And I think that's it for the artifacts. The final topic of the video is going to be the talent tree. Now I have 4 different talent trees because this hero can be used with all the different troop types in the game. So the first talent tree that we have right here is the one I call the Rage Engine talent tree. As you can see, I picked up a lot of rage skills from this talent tree. So going all the way to the left, when we get to this point, you pick the Guardian Angel. This is going to help you survive those infantry counterattack when you enter battle. And then you come over here, you get the Unrelenting Fury. When your Legion gains a buff effect, they gain 15 rage. Remember, Seluna is going to be gaining moth marks. He's got a 60% chance to gain a moth mark, which means you will be getting this buff almost every single second when you're fighting. 60% chance is massive. So this is going to be very good for giving you a lot of rage and letting you cycle through multiple rage cycles. And then over here, you got Mighty Power, which gives you 20 extra rage. You got the ability to generate rage from here with the head held high. You can also generate rage from here with Spirit of Rage. You make your way here, you grab Detached, you get this one Focus, and then the remaining 2 points, you put them in Steady Hands. Seluna is going to be getting those moth marks, and those moth marks are going to be triggering these skills, helping you do some good stuff on the field. Now you can decide to go with Boiling Blood if you want. That's going to be up to you. But this is kind of like a rage type talent tree for going through multiple rage cycles. This is what it looks like. The next talent tree that we're going to check out is going to be the skills talent tree, kind of like a universal skills talent tree. So this is what it kind of looks like. Everything is almost the same all the way up to here, and then at the end, the 1 point I have left, I put it at strength to strength. 0.3% more damage dealt. It's pretty good. And then we go over here, we grab the Boiling Blood. You get this one. We grab Focus, and then from here we get the Steady Hands, because Seluna gets moth marks almost every second. So that's gonna boost the skills and get it to maximum almost all the time when you're fighting your enemies. And then at the end, you're gonna go with Caged Animal. The devs have made it so that right now you don't lose your rage a little bit faster. So you should be able to get a lot of stacks to help maximize the damage output of this Caged Animal, especially in a long fight. So this is going to be the skills tree version of the talent tree for Seluna. You can use, I think, with pretty much almost anyone, but it's going to be more useful with the mages instead. The next talent tree that we're going to have a look at is going to be the one for the archers. In this case, I decided to go in all the different directions. We are trying to maximize the damage output of the normal attack. Remember, Seluna can do up to 60% additional damage dealt, which means your normal attacks are going to be doing 60% more damage. And as we know, archers are well known for their normal attacks. So we got 5% normal attack damage bonus, and we got another 4% normal attack damage bonus. Here we got skill damage boost. Here we got damage dealt when you enter the fight. Here we got the ability for you to survive those infantry counter attack when you enter battle. 4% less damage taken is a big deal. Here we got the strength to strength, which is the 1 point left, 0.3% more damage dealt. In the right hand side, we get over here, we grab the skills, we get the head held high, and then we take Boiling Blood. If you don't like Boiling Blood, you can go with Spirit of Rage and just get some rage when you're casting rage skills. So this is what I would use for archers, but you can still make some changes and try out some good stuff. Who knows, maybe this rage talent skill might be good for archers as well, especially if you remove this and put it somewhere else. Like, you never know. Even the skills tree over here may be very good with archers. The final talent tree that we're going to check out is going to be the one that I think will be useful with the wyvern, with the forest eagles. So we're going to go to the Roots of War and check it out. So this is what I have for the forest eagles. It's similar with the skills talent tree that I showed you before. Everything all the way up to here is the same. We make our way over here, and from here we grab Steady Hands. I think that's going to be a good one. And then at the end, you can see that I went with Thirst for Blood instead of the Caged Animals. When you're using your cavalry, I don't think you're going to be staying in the fight for a very long time, which is why you don't need Caged Animals for your cavalry. You need Thirst for Blood. This is going to give you instant impact. You get the damage and you get out, especially if you want to go in, hit the enemy and then run away. This is going to be the way to go. Now, if you don't like the Steady Hands, because I don't know if this is going to be useful on flying cavalry, because you go in, you hit, and then you get out. So I think this could be useful, especially when you trigger the crit rate. So you're going to have to decide which one you want between these two skills. So this, ladies and gentlemen, is everything that I have so far for legendary Seluna in Call of Dragons. Now right now I think there is a glitch with the hero, if I'm not mistaken. These two skills are not the same with what the devs showed us from the update video. So I think they may change these two skills. If they don't change it, then perfect. This is going to be excellent for us. I hope they don't change it. I hope they leave it like this, because I like it, man. If it's like this, people are going to invest. If they revert back the changes, I think many people are going to be not investing a lot in the hero, but I think she's going to be very, very good for the field. I hope the devs don't change this. I hope they leave it like this. This is going to be nice. So the one thing that we notice is that this is the first flying hero in the game that requires everything in the lineup to be flying in order to get all the extra buffs. So that is something that you need to remember. So thank you guys for watching the video. If you're new here, subscribe for more content. Until then, talk to you guys in the next one. Bye bye for now.